Hey guys, it's Michelle and Tyler from Universal Rackets, and we're here to let you know the tea on our last YouTube video when we talked about decision making at the kitchen. You want to be sure that you know how to decide if you should take a ball out of the air or if you should let it bounce first.
Yes, so many players, they end up popping the ball up in the air, and the reason why is because they took a ball on a bounce that they should have taken out of the air.
Correct.
If you can learn how to take balls out of the air and when to take the balls out of the air and when to let them bounce properly, you're going to win so many more points. You are going to pop so less balls up, and you're going to be just so much better in pickleball.
We're going to give you the secret on how to build confidence in doing that with a couple of drills that you can go out and work on so you feel confident on the court next time, taking the balls out of the air and becoming an aggressive kitchen player.
And we're going to give you tips, tricks, and strategy as well. So once again, if you watch this whole video, once you're done, you're going to be taking balls out of the air and you're going to know the exact formula when you should let it bounce. Stay tuned. Let's get started?
Yep.
All right. Okay, so the first thing that you have to do, if you ever want to learn how to take the balls out of the air and when to let them bounce, you have to make sure you get some cones. And what you're going to do with these cones is you're going to put them about a foot out in front of the kitchen line. I want you to imagine that there's an imaginary line, move that back a little bit, connected to all of the cones. Now, when I have these cones out here, if there is ever a ball that bounces between the cones and the kitchen line, instead of letting the ball bounce, which most people do, you are going to take it out of the air. Once again, if a ball ever goes between the cone and the kitchen line here, you are going to take the ball out of the air. If the ball ever bounces in front of the cones, you are going to let the ball bounce. Now notice, I cannot hit the ball in the air and step in the kitchen. But what can I do? And I feel like players new to pickleball take a little bit of time to learn this, is that they can lean over and take the ball out of the air. Just because the ball is in the kitchen while I'm making contact, I can make contact with that ball, but I just have to make sure that I'm outside of the kitchen.
Your feet are behind the kitchen line, and then when you sit down, you squat down, you can actually reach further.
Yes.
And this reach changed the dink to a dink volley. And
Yes.
the more balls that you can volley as a dink, the more aggressive your side will be and the more points you will win.
Yes.
So look for those dink volleys.
And another big thing
Take
is you never want to make sure, I just want to put this out there, you can't hit the ball in the air behind the kitchen line and then fall in. If your body weight falls in, your momentum falls in, that means that you're in the kitchen. The last rule is you can't hit it out of the air and have your paddle touch the kitchen because your
Or
paddle is part of you.
your hat fall off
Yeah,
into the kitchen.
no, don't show these people my hair. Okay, all right. And here's where a lot of players go wrong before utilizing this drill, okay? You don't know when to. They either A, they move back and they pop the ball out of there, or B, they stay here and then they take it on the bounce and they pop the ball in the air because it was jammed and then their opponent smashes the ball at them. It is best to make sure that you are up at the kitchen line at all times. You do not want to move back from the kitchen unless you're playing at a really high level, and we'll talk about that in another
And if
video.
you move off the kitchen, you can get your body off balance. The last thing you ever want in pickleball is have your body off balance because you will hit a bad shot while you're doing that.
So again, going back to it, in front of the cones, between the kitchen line and the cone right here, this space, always out of the air. Anytime that it is in front of the cones, you're going to take it on the bounce. So the first big thing that we went over is that you can go over the kitchen line and make contact. Now, as Michelle stated, what did you say? You said getting low, trying to hit them as a type of dink volley. Now, what that means to a beginner, club level, recreational player is that instead of letting the ball bounce, I'm going to get low and take the ball out of the air, dropping your center of gravity, getting low. This is going to increase the amount of volleys or your length that you have at the kitchen like 5 times. And what I mean by this, I want you to look at this. If I am straight up like a tin soldier and I'm leaning over, look how far I can go. I'm gonna put my paddle down here, okay? Here it is, see that? Fully extended. Now, if I get down low, I get into a squat, now I extend, look, I'm gonna put my paddle down here. Look, it doubles my length that I can take over the kitchen. So by lowering your center of gravity, it's going to allow you to take further balls out of the air. And another thing, it's going to help you be balanced. If you are 6 feet tall, I want you to be 5 feet. If you're 5 feet tall, I want you to be 4 feet. Now again, you do not want to let the balls bounce here. So the best thing that you're going to do, and we're going to get into it right now, is this drill that we're going to do. And again, we're going to just abide by, if the ball is behind the cones, take it out of the air, in front of the cones, let it bounce. Are you ready?
Yes.
Let's go. What we're going to do right now, the first exercise I want you to do is, again, if the ball bounces in front, you're going to let it bounce. If it bounces behind, you are going to take it out of the air. So here we are. And all I'm going to do is, again, okay, maybe I should have took that out of the air. Okay, that's going to bounce. I'm going to let it bounce. It's in front. Okay, maybe out of air. Out of the air. I'm going to let it bounce because it's in front. So all you're going to do is try to determine where the ball is going to land, and then you're either going to take it out of the air or let it bounce. So what you don't want to do is you don't want to do this. Or you don't, try to hit me a deep dink again, you don't want to do this, because look, I'm going to pop it up and she's going to kill the ball at me. And that's where players go wrong. Anytime that it's here or behind, I'm going to lean over and take out of the air. So a great drill to do is to literally say it out loud, in the air, in the air. Let it bounce, in the air, in the air. Let it bounce. And there are two main things by doing this drill. Number one, it's anticipating where the ball is going to go before it even gets there. When we're dinking, I can know by the speed and the trajectory of your ball where it's going to land in the kitchen line. That's number one. The second thing is to drill so much with these cones out in front that when I'm actually playing, I have a visual of a line, just like the cones. I pretend that the cones, I can see the cones even when they're not here because I've done it so many times.
And this lesson that we're giving you essentially can answer a huge question that actually probably my number one question. Why do I keep popping the ball up? Or that goes hand in hand with this question is, how do I defend a put away at my feet? It's not about learning how to defend the put away. The question that you want to answer is, why am I popping the ball up? Well, you're popping the ball up because you're moving back off the kitchen, you're opening your paddle, and you're getting off balance. So if you practice this drill and you listen to what we're saying, you're going to have better, lower, more consistent and aggressive dinks and shots to the kitchen so that you don't run into those problems.
Yes, and I feel like a common question is going to be, and when someone explained this to me as well, Tyler and Michelle, you're telling me hit them out of the air. Why do I want to hit them out of the air? Why can't I let the ball bounce?
Point?
Let me explain this real quick. If the ball bounces, you have to hit up. Now, if you get the ball close, you're going to pop it up. So if I let this ball bounce, the only thing I can do to get this ball over the kitchen is what? If it's low, it's going to bounce. It's not a bouncy ball. It's going to bounce. The second bounce is going to be lower than the trajectory that's coming in, right? What can I do? I can't hit it forward. It's in the net. I can't hit it super hard because it's going to go long. I have to hit it up to get it over
low to high
the net.
to
I have
clear
to
the
swing
net.
low to high.
You have
if
to.
it is in the
There's
air,
no other choice.
I am allowed to take the ball at a higher point than I would letting it bounce. I also will be able to make contact out in front rather than letting the ball bounce.
Which turns this shot for us as a team into an aggressive play on our side instead of a defensive.
Yes.
So this takes you from defense to offense. And where do you want to be to win games?
Offense.
The best defense is an incredible offense. Don't even give them a chance to attack you.
Or at least it'll neutralize your opponent.
Yeah.
For sure. And think about this too. What is on this earth? Gravity, right? The further out in front I can make contact with the ball, the higher it's going to be. The longer I let this ball get to me, the lower it is going to get. And when you are making contact low and your opponent is making contact high, that's when you are going to lose points and get the ball smashed
and you're put on defense.
When you are getting the balls high and your opponents are making contact with the ball low, that's going to win you points. And it's inverse. If I make the person hit low, it's going to make me hit high. So instead, Michelle's going to go out there right now again, and instead of Michelle letting me hit low and then popping it up, I'm going to hit it higher and at least neutralize the point. This is going to not only take time away from my opponent, it's going to limit the amount of offensive balls that she's going to get, because I'm going to at least neutralize the opponent. Or, here we are, try hit me a little deep one, a little deep, or, too good, I can lean over and put the ball away.
Also, let's remind everyone watching, the goal of a dink is to hit it as low to the net as possible. You don't want a high dink up here, because if it's up here, it's going to come high to the opponent. If you hit a low dink that falls here, that automatically makes them defensive.
Yes. So after we're done this kitchen exercise with the line, the next thing that we're going to do is try to go even beyond the kitchen. We're going to push our boundaries right now, and we're going to see how far out we can actually extend. So our next drill, Michelle and I, we're going to be dinking, we're going to be volleying, and we're going to try and make contact as far out in front. We're not going to be dinking. I explained that. We're going to take every single ball.
Why don't we do protect your cone? Protect your cone drill. It's fun, it's interactive.
So the next drill that we're going to be able to do is we're going to play protect our cone. And what that is I'm going to give Michelle 2 cones. She's going to put them out in front of her kitchen. And the goal is I'm going to try to knock her cones, and she's going to try to knock my cones. Now, this is going to force me to, again, expand my boundaries and go beyond the normal cone line. I'm going to try to extend even further. I'm going to try to extend even further so I can get a high ball so I can smash down at her cones rather than going forward.
And by doing this drill, you are learning your personal comfort and seeing when it's too far. If I'm like this and my arm is straight, that's a ball I have to let bounce in front of me, which is okay for it to bounce because it's not going to touch my cone. My cone's within arm's length. You don't ever want to volley like this. You don't want to be too extended, but in this drill, I will learn what it feels like to be too extended and have to let that ball bounce.
Yeah.
Ideally, when you're reaching, you're going to use your legs to get down, to get longer with a tiny bend in your elbow. If you have a straight arm, you do not take it out of the air and you let it bounce and then you dink.
And this is going to help get your confidence as well, to put you in positions that you are now winning taking balls out of the air. So here we are, protect your cone, nice feed, let's go. I'm trying to extend out as many times.
That was at my body, not
possible.
at my cone.
Oh. Okay, here we are.
You're aiming for my cone, right?
Yes. Trying to set you up. Oh no. It makes you really think. Not letting her get my cones, right? So I would rather extend and miss than have her let the ball bounce and have her touch my cone.
Ah!
Almost got it. Ah, come on, here we go. Fully extending. Every single ball, doesn't matter how far in front, I'm pushing my boundaries. There should be a strike zone rule with this game. So like if you miss in the net like 3 times, then I get a point or cone taken away. Come on. Oh. No! One more.
I was aiming for your cone.
I know, I thought you got me. My cone's life flashed before its eyes. Oh, I had it. I'm gonna get it. Come on, give me a ball. Let's go.
I hope you don't post these like bad ones.
We
'Cause
post
you get me
all of them.
So stressed by it.
All content's good content. And again, I'm extending. Notice too, I'm hitting a lot as a backhand, guys. I'm not taking them as a forehand.
This also forces you to stay in a good ready position.
Oh, okay, I'm done. I tried to end it right there. But yes, it also forces you to get in a good ready position.
Because you don't have time to bring your paddle back or drop it. You're out here the whole time. It's a good ready position.
And to get low in your body. So again, if you can make sure that you try to extend out in front, take balls out of air, general rule of thumb is imagine that there's a row of cones in front of you, and if it bounces behind those cones, you're going to take it out of the air. You're going to win so many more points. And we explained why, because instead of hitting the ball super low, having to hit it high, you're going to hit it at a higher, more neutral or offensive point.
And never once during that drill did you see either one of us back off of our kitchen, because we cannot expose our cones like that.
Yeah.
I'd fall into the kitchen before I back off those cones.
Yeah, you would?
Yeah.
Me too. All right, so make sure to check out our other video that we went over keeping our paddle short at the kitchen. An amazing tip that'll transform your dinks and your consistency. And then make sure to subscribe and share this with a friend. If you guys want any awesome, amazing Selkirk paddles, Selkirk balls, these balls, guys, they do not break. They're amazing. They're better than a Franklin. They're a little bit more denser than a Franklin.
I've never actually loved a ball more.
Me too.
Than this one.
And guys, we're not just selling this. Like, I would only buy and play with these. The Franklins, they get cracked, they get super soft after they get worn down. The Doras, anytime you get a Dora, they crack and they get wobbly, and it's too hard.
I think people are just asking to play with us because they want to use our balls.
Yeah, we always have these fresh Selkirk balls. But guys, these balls last forever, and they also have, I think it's a 1-year warranty.
Yeah.
If you get a crack. So make sure to click the link in the description. Our awesome paddles. And look at this amazing Selkirk gear. She has the Ava Lee, top, bottom right there. If you want that, get a gift card with your purchase. Valentine's Day is coming up. Ooh. What better to get your girl than a Selkirk outfit? She's a pickleball or a pink paddle. Look at this right now.
Beautiful.
Honey, my heart is pink for you. Happy Valentine's Day. I love you. Here we are. Here we are. Happy Valentine's Day.
Thank you.
All right, and you will get a gift card with purchase if you use our link. Make sure to follow us on Instagram, subscribe to us to YouTube, and if you want any Universal Rackets clinics, corporate events, guys, we're doing pickleball fundraiser. If you have a cause and you want our Universal Rackets pros to come out to you and put on this amazing pickleball event, make sure to click the link in the description, fill out the form, and a Universal Rackets representative will be getting back to you. Have a good one, happy hitting, and we can't wait to see you guys on courts. And again, drill, drill, drill. Put these cones out there until you are seeing cones. You can't go out without seeing cones, and take balls out of the air if they bounce at or behind those cones. Happy hitting.